That's Retro Fandango. That's Retro Fandango. When it's Android over iPhone, and you can keep your stupid amiibo and always bashing on Nintendo. But that's Retro Fandango. That's Retro Fandango. Thanks, Retro Fandango. Wow.
Oh, we got new buttons to play with.
Yeah, we're getting some fancy edits there during
Look at that,
the intro.
Well, I was wondering why is it squished in the corner, and there was a button there. It said full screen layout. Woo.
Is that a new feature they just updated?
Yeah, I guess made it a little easier.
Okay.
There we go. Look at that. Everyone who's just listening is just riveted right now.
Mm-hmm.
All right, we'll remove that. Welcome everyone to Retro Fandango after the longest hiatus I think we've ever had.
Definitely.
When was the last time we did a show?
I was thinking about that. Maybe March, April, somewhere around there.
Been a minute. Canada was still under attack from the US. Things have calmed down a little for now. Until
we got all new issues now.
Yeah, until some more Epstein files start bubbling up in the background, and Trump needs to throw another distraction at everyone. So, in case anyone was worried that the Trump talk killed the show, it did not.
No, not
we
at all.
just had some personal stuff and an incredibly busy summer. It's for me, it has just been insane. I don't even know where to start. We'll talk about Dead Heat, the movie Dead Heat, and the reasoning why. I don't even think I really talked to Richard about this too much. Maybe I should just mention that Dead.
Okay.
I want to tie in like a movie to every episode because one, I think our conversations are more interesting when we've both seen the movie and we both have an opinion and we get to do our sister thing. For one, and for two. One of the things I hate the most is trying to come up with a title for our shows to the point where I was just not doing it because there'll be like some sort of crumb of something that, we'll probably talk about this, and I'll put it in the title, and that'll be the title. And then we might talk about it for like 2 seconds, and then, our entire conversation will be about, something completely different, and it's like, so it just makes it easier. So I don't have to think of a title. I could just put in, this is the movie we're going to be talking about. So
what you're saying is after about 10 years of doing this, the answer is basic show prep.
Yeah. Finally figuring it out, It's actually been more than 10 years, right? It's been
I mean, if you count Cartridge Club years on top of that, it's we go back a way.
We started 1 year after the Cartridge Club started, and the Cartridge Club started in 2013. Yeah. So we started in 2014, and it's 2025 is almost done. So yeah, and I think we started in September, right? So this would be 11, 11 going into our 12th year.
September, October. No. Yeah, you know what? Because first episode that I was ever on was the Mega Man Christmas, and that was episode 4. So you remember things. This is impressive.
Yeah, remembering stuff is something else. Oh
boy.
Oh, speaking of anniversaries, I better get this out of the way because this will be, since we're only doing a monthly show now. This will be the last episode we do before my 25th wedding anniversary.
Heyo.
Sarah. So yeah, Sarah and I have been on October 28th. We've been married for 25 years.
So, congratulations.
Thank you. Unless she smartens up within the next few weeks, it looks like it's going to happen. I'm keeping my fingers crossed. I don't know. She might wake up one day and say, "What am I doing?" And I couldn't disagree with her. I'd be like, "Yeah, what are you doing?"
Sometimes you realize you just had enough.
Yeah, and I would, I wouldn't be happy about it, but I would understand. I would definitely understand.
Sure. You just access the logical part of your brain.
That's right.
Yeah, kind of makes sense.
You got to do what's best for you sometimes.
Yeah. Well, not to
So
steal your thunder, but my wife and I did have our 20-year anniversary during the hiatus. So
nice.
I wish we
Congratulations.
had. I wish we had that applause button, the old soundboard.
Yeah, you know, with all of these improvements that StreamYard has done, adding in a soundboard has not been made easier unless I
Hmm.
start buying plugins and subscriptions
Oh,
and stuff like that. So yeah,
well, here I'll give you the free version.
good enough. Good enough.
You
Um,
know, I know it's an expression, but I literally had to dust off my microphone in order to get back into this.
well, surprisingly, my microphone was not dusty because I just this past month did the latest cartridge or participated in the latest cartridge club episode
Mhm.
for Quake, and it was a good time. I was on there with our friend Ryan, who's normally here,
Mhm.
but I guess he's off celebrating his Brewers, getting ready, mentally prepared for his Brewers to take on the Cubs tomorrow. Um, but yeah, I did it with Ryan and Guido, who I think he's somewhere in the Scandinavian countries. I'm not sure which one. Sorry,
Okay.
I'm an ignorant North American here, but yeah, he was the super Quake expert. He knew everything about that game, and he
Mm.
played all the mods and all that stuff. It's amazing. Like we talked for 2 hours about that game, and you know, at the end of it, it was like, was there anything else to talk about? I'm like, no. And then when we wrapped up and finished, I realized like we didn't talk about the DLC or the what did they call it back in the day? It wasn't DLC, it was expansion packs.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, you know, on the PC you would get an expansion pack. So we didn't talk about those. Not even though they're not that great, so there wasn't really much to talk about, but felt like as if we should have mentioned them anyways. But it's just
That was
amazing that
something though. When you get those expansion packs, it was actually like a physical, large, big box, and you get the
yeah.
CD and everything.
Well, and it expanded the life of the game that you had.
Hmm.
You had this game that you paid for and you bought and you played through it, and there's no more content left. And then for just a little an economical price, you get this
Hmm.
expansion pack, which would add on a whole bunch of other levels and whatnot. And
Which I
yeah, it
guess,
was,
back then it was essentially like getting half of a new game. You get new levels, whatever, but uh, you know, beefed it up. Remember
yeah.
when Doom came out with like the other chapters? It's like it's like having a whole new game.
And it's amazing now on Steam. If you own Doom and Quake and a few of those other older first-person shooters, I've learned since we did that podcast is the reasoning for this is that Steam has kind of wanted to make everything accessible on the Steam Deck. So what
Hmm.
they've done is they've basically updated all of these games so they play more like a modern first-person shooter. Not that you're like zooming in to shoot or anything like that, but you
Right.
can play them with controllers, and there's more. Saving is easier, and all that stuff. The widescreen aspect ratios and all that's just been made more. The games have been made more accessible. They haven't changed any of the DNA of the games. But
Right.
like I remember, even in 20, because Steam kind of time marks everything. So the last time I played Quake was in 2019, and I remember like downloading um, mods for it and everything, so it would play in widescreen, and the aspect ratio would be right. You could play with the mouse and keyboard and all that stuff, and like Doom with the mouse and keyboard and whatnot. And now you don't have to worry about any of that. It's all baked right in. They basically have taken like the ports of the game for the PlayStation 5 and the Xbox Series X and the Switch and all that. They basically, like, if you bought the game back in the day, you get all those updates and everything.
Right.
So like they've streamlined everything too. Like I have a copy of Doom and Doom 2 and Doom the Final Chapters and all this stuff that I had bought back in the day. But now they've streamlined it. If you have a copy of Doom or Doom 2, it's all in one package.
Sure.
So you go in there, you open it up, and it's Doom's in there, Doom 2's in there. So you only have one purchase and you get all those games. And it's pretty cool that they've done all that.
Yeah, it's
even
like a Diablo. It automatically has that Hellfire
yeah,
thing in there. Just, I guess, yeah, modern audiences, they're afraid that people are just gonna turn it on and be like, I don't know how to work this, and just shut it off.
right. Well, and part of it is that Steam wants to sell Steam decks, right? So the games
Yeah,
have to
yeah.
be playable on Steam Deck. If they're not playable, like they want as many verified green check marks on the store page as possible. You know, don't worry about buying this; it'll run on your Steam Deck. So it's pretty cool though that you don't have to re-buy the game. You know, like Nintendo makes you do every time you get a new console, you got to re-buy Super Mario Brothers. Like, how many times have you bought that game? You know, but I digress.
Well,
I,
they
I
got
guess
their die-hard fan base.
there you go. 10 minutes in, we're already pissing off the Nintendo fans. Good times. Although it seems like people have what is it? Taking the red pill or the blue pill? I can never remember which pill it is. What's the pill in the Matrix that you take?
I think the red one was you go in. The red one was you see the truth. The blue one is you go to sleep. Something like
Okay.
that.
Okay. So I think that with this Switch 2, a lot of Nintendo fanboys have finally taken the red pill, because I don't think I've seen so many complaints about the Switch 2 and its pricing and Nintendo's practices of the expensive games and then making people buy the Switch 2 versions of the game. Like some of them, like I know Super Mario Odyssey, you kind of get a free update, but if you want an update for the Zelda games, you got to pay for it and all that. And people are really upset about it. It's like Nintendo's been doing this for, at least since the Wii U. I don't know why it's come as such a shock, but I think it's the price of the system.
Well, how
Of
much
course,
is it?
well, in Canada, it's $800 for a Switch 2.
Oh,
Yeah.
get out of
Yeah,
here.
799, I think, or 699, 799. I can't remember. There's a version that comes with Mario Kart, and I think that one's the 799 one, if I can remember correctly.
Okay. Yeah, hey, old comments here, but I can't understand how people maintain modern gaming. The prices on these things, it's just
Yeah,
ridiculous.
it's insane.
I look at some of the sale prices that come up on GOG or Steam. I'll get a notification. I'm like, $4.99. I don't know.
I
I'll
gotta
see
tell
if
you,
it goes 80% off.
I gotta tell you too, because after I did that Quake episode, I kind of got the itching to play some first-person shooters, my boomer shooters, as they're called. So on the show, I recommended a couple, like, because Sauce asked for recommendations of other games, like if you like Quake, what else is there to get? And I'm like, oh yeah, you should get a Medieval and Iron Fury and Dusk. And then when I opened my Steam account, I realized like I've only played like a few minutes of some of these games. Like I thought I played a lot more. I finished Dusk, but the other two I didn't play that much. So I'm like, oh geez, I better like. So I got into those, and it's funny because as I'm playing them, like I'm thinking, well, what else is out there? And I'm like, no, just stick to what you have. You don't need to buy any more games. Just stick to what you have. And as this is happening, I'm getting like recommendations, and all these boomer shooters are on sale. I'm like, what's going on? So I had to click on it, and like while I'm playing this stuff, and I'm trying to stay with, it's the boomer shooter sale on Steam. I'm like, come on. But I persevered, and I made it through. I didn't buy anything. I just stuck to what I have. And then right as the boomer shooter sales ended, the Steam autumn sale started.
I just noticed that. I'm on there right now. I
Yeah.
had no idea this was going on.
I'm
But
like,
yeah, a whole bunch of stuff. 80% off, 60%
yeah,
off, and
yeah. It's
at the
good
same time,
stuff.
I forced myself to do that during the hiatus. I had a couple of moments where I was like, "Yeah, I want to sit down and play some games." So I mentioned to you before, I played through Doom and Doom 2, but I put on that that mod, the Brutal Doom.
Yes.
That makes everything like a little bit more violent, and the enemies attack differently. It's a little bit harder, but it's kind of fun. And I found some other game that I had, this like Alice in Wonderland creepy platformer thing. I was like, oh, okay, I'll just play through that, and it was all right. And it scratched the itch, so it was like I didn't have to buy anything. But now I'm seeing a lot of stuff discounted here. You
Yeah, I know.
mentioned boomer shooters. There's that Warhammer 40,000 bolt gun game
Yeah.
that's now going like 50% off.
Yeah.
Tempting.
Yeah. It's on my wish list.
But then, yeah, I know what happens because actually, yeah, there was some sale. I don't know, a summer sale or whatever. I finally got that RoboCop game, the Rogue City, because it was
Yes.
90% off. I was like, yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely. I think there was some expansion that came out, so they were marked it down real cheap. And of course, I haven't touched it. It's been sitting
No.
there for months, but
Right.
I have it now.
Well, that's good. That's a good game to lock in because
Licensing, yeah.
licensing. I think those licensed IPs, they could just pull it off the shelf at any moment. So
That's why I've learned my lesson that if there is a sale and there is something with a license on it that I've been
yeah.
thinking about, it's like, sure, I'll just get it so that I have it. In fact, I bought that the Ghostbusters game, the Spirits Unleashed, the one that's
Hmm.
like a Left for Dead kind of game.
Yeah.
And I bought it, I installed it, and I haven't touched it.
Yeah.
It's been installed for a couple months now, but I don't know. But at least, hey, it's if it disappears tomorrow, at least I'll pat myself on the back.
I actually went into my Steam and because I tried some other boomer shooters. I tried the Turok games, and
Yeah.
I remember playing them back on the N64 back in the day. And I remember them being okay, but I got back to them and like, these aren't as good as I remembered it. It's not so much the gameplay or anything like that. That's fine. It's the level design. It's really weird.
Eh,
You got to
that
collect
that
these keys in order to unlock the next level, but there's nothing to tell you where the keys are. You just have to
mhm.
kind of explore, and which is fine. But like if you collect all the keys, well, now you got to find the exit to the place, even though you've already done the exit. Like there should have been like just like something where you can just like quickly go to the hub or something like that, and then
Mhm.
all of the keys for the next level. Like if you're in level 2 and you're trying to go to level 3, all the keys for level 3 aren't in level 2. You have to explore the hub as well to find
Hmm.
enough keys. And I was just kind of like, it's fine, but I just like I don't want to play this. I don't like this level design. That was in the
Sounds
first
like
game. Go ahead.
I was gonna say it sounds like you've gotten a lot farther in those games than I ever did, because it was one of those um, at the height of retro collecting when I was just like, "Ooh, I never played this, I never played that. Let me pop
Yeah.
in Turok," and I just remember a lot of that N64 era, wide open spaces,
Yeah.
enemies coming out of the mist, and like walls of green. Like, this is a dead end. Don't go here. Can't go there. And I was like, all right. I missed the boat on this. If I'm not excited, if I wasn't excited for it, like when it came
Yeah.
out, I
Yeah.
have no attachment to it
I
now.
think if you have the nostalgia for it, you'll go back to those games and just
Yeah.
love them. But I don't really have the nostalgia for them. That was the first game. The second game's kind of the same deal, but you got to save these kids and that. And there's a little more in the second game. Like it's more it's a polished game than the first one, but I still couldn't get into it. So, anyways, I kind of ran out of boomer shooters in my library. But I said I'm still not going to, uh, buy anything. I actually went in my Steam and I organized my Steam and by date purchased and went all the
Mhm.
way to like the very first games I ever bought on Steam. And I said, okay, what's
Uh-oh.
in here that I haven't played? And there was a Transformers game that I only put like 90 minutes into back in
Oh,
2011.
the that platinum game, the
Nope.
Transformers. No.
No, it's
Oh,
War for Cybertron.
War for, yeah, okay. I
So it's
played
kind
one
of
of those.
it's kind of like a Gears of War kind of clone where the
Yeah, I
plays like
remember
that.
that. I don't remember which one I played, but it was kind of neat where you could alternate whether you're left-handed, right-handed. So depending on your cover, it made it like easier for you to shoot and
Oh,
stay in cover.
I might not have found that yet, but
Okay.
um, it's funny because I went to the Steam the discussion page just to see, like, before I fired it up to see if there was anything. Like, I like to see if, like, is the game still working? Is it going to run fine on Windows 10 or Windows 11? Is it still, are a lot of people having problems with it? And it was fine, but a lot of the discussion there was that people could not buy the game anymore because it
Hmm.
is an IP game and it has been
Sure.
delisted from Steam for a long time. So people are like, yeah, I've gone back to the 360 version and it is rough. I'd love to get a Steam version, blah, blah, blah. It's like, oh, there you go. There's the lesson right there. Get the IP stuff.
Yeah. I've missed more than a few, so from now on. And well, I still haven't really learned my lesson because there's a bunch of stuff on my wish list that has been on my wish list for years and years, and it's like Batman this or
Mm.
uh, I don't know.
Generally, you might be okay with the Batman stuff because that's owned by Warner Brothers, who owns, I believe they own whatever uh, studios that puts that out, right? So there shouldn't be an issue with that, but you never know.
Yeah, but
Marvel's
it's still the
always
same.
having.
It's still the same old thing. It's like, okay, I want it, I want it, I want it, I want it. I got it. I'm never gonna
Yeah,
play it.
I know. It's weird. It's a weird thing.
Yeah. They know how
Uh,
to hook you though. That's their whole sales strategy.
yeah,
Don't you want this? Yes, I do. Why? I don't know. I just want it. It's
it's weird.
everything.
Speaking of wanting a bunch of stuff and retro games and all that stuff, before we get too far into the show, we're only 20 minutes in. I just wanted to mention that Billy from the Game Chasers has passed away. Did you know this?
I did hear about this. I don't spend a whole lot of time on Twitter these days, which apparently neither do our listeners.
Nobody does because nobody's here. And yeah, Twitter's dead. I think so. We gotta. Where are the Cartridge Club people
I
at?
don't know.
Where's
Where
everybody
did
these
everybody
days?
go?
I need to reach
We'll
out to
figure that
Bill.
out.
Bill, I haven't heard from Bill in forever. He used to chime in on Twitter all the time, and yeah,
But yeah, I
yeah.
did go on Twitter and I saw a few posts. I had seen things like, "Oh, he's in the hospital," and for the record, I used to watch the Game Chasers like I don't know 5 6 years ago. Maybe I stopped, and I just know him through that. And I saw things he's sick. I was like, "Oh, that's too bad." And then I started seeing like the actual notice saying, "Hey, unfortunately, he passed away." And you know, I saw people posting about that. It's like, oh, I want to be respectful, but I don't know anything about the guy, so I'm not gonna, chime in on any of this. But let the people who knew him, have their platform. But then all of this controversy, Twitter posts started coming up, and I'm like, okay, I don't want anything to do with this.
Oh,
I don't even want to know about this.
wait a minute.
So
What's the controversy? I don't know anything about it.
I saw it went in that order. I saw postings of like, the guy's not doing well. Unfortunately, he passed away. And from what I know of him, he had a wife and a kid, which is, a
Yeah,
tragic
young
thing.
family. Yep.
So then I started seeing things like, okay, this person wasn't his true friend. This was his true friend, and this
Oh
and that.
God.
Uh, I stepped back, so I don't know what has been going on with it because just
Okay.
let the family deal with the horrible situation they're in.
Yeah.
Let them have their chance to grieve. That's it.
Okay. I won't say I know something about this, but something about that was kind of look, I so he passed away. You click on some videos, and then all of a sudden, in your YouTube algorithm, all these other videos about the Game Chasers and Billy passing away comes up. And there was this one video that came up, and it said, yeah, something about the controversy or whatever. And I started like, what is this? So I started watching it, and it didn't say controversy; it said truth or something. I don't know. So I started watching it, and
Yeah.
this guy's talking away. I'm like, who? This guy looks familiar. And then it dawned on me that it was. Boogie2988. He was like a big YouTuber, I don't know, about 10 years ago or whatever, back when the same time the Game Chasers were coming around. And I don't know, he knows something about the Game Chasers and stuff like that. I started watching this video and I was like, I still don't understand what's happening. So I stopped watching it. Anyways.
Yeah, I found that, I mean, with this and certainly a lot with Cinemassacre, there's usually videos of people who come out who criticize or say, well,
Yeah.
here's the truth and here's the thing. Do you know them in any way?
Yeah.
Because I don't.
Yeah.
Where are you getting your information from? So when I see that kind of stuff, one, I really don't care
Yeah.
because I
It
like
doesn't
to
concern me.
distance the actor from the performance,
Mhm.
in terms of movies, music, whatever. I don't care what you're like in real life unless you're doing something really horrible or something really great. Just I'm gonna take the product for what it is.
Right.
I don't care about all this behind the scenes. I don't, not interested.
Yeah. Yeah, I agree. Like it just, I don't, who cares? I do think that Billy was that channel. Billy was the Game Chasers. If they decide to carry on with the show and all that, all the power to them. Honestly, I haven't watched it in, I'm gonna say 10 years. I'm gonna say
Whatever it's
2015-ish.
been.
Yeah, I'm
Yeah.
gonna say it's been a long time. Not that the quality of the show is bad or gone downhill or anything like that. I will say that some of when they came up here to Toronto and they visited some places that I know that were uh lean towards the scalper end of things, and they were
Mhm.
putting them on their show and holding them up onto this pedestal like that they were these great members of the community and all that stuff. And they were great to the Game Chasers, but to the average Joe that's just looking to buy a copy of Super Mario Brothers 3, I mean, they weren't making deals for them. So a little bit of the like seeing that curtain pulled back a little bit on how the sausage is made, and that kind of soured me on the show a little bit. But for the majority of it, it's just my interest in collecting retro games just waned, and I just wasn't really interested in the show anymore. But this is a really crappy eulogy for Billy. We got to do better here. For a period of time, that show was one of my favorite shows on YouTube. I thought that he would like, and it was a show. It was a TV show. The Game
Yeah.
Chasers, the TV. It was not a YouTube channel. That thing was put together professionally. It was put together well. It was, they had a vision. Well, he had a vision of what he wanted. The sense of humor came through on everything. He was very embracing and all that stuff of everybody that was on his show. And wasn't mean or anything like that. And it was interesting. It was interesting how they would get video games. And I mean, they were the guys that would go to the yard sales, right? And got any video games? Like how many people have done that since, And that's just been his influence. Because I really do think he was the driving force of that show. I know that Jay had been around for a long time, and I'm sure he took a lot of ideas from Jay and all that stuff. But Billy was like really the guy who would throw the thing together, And I think it's really too bad. That was really, really sad. I did watch a few tributes, and by far the best for me was the Happy Console Gamer. What the heck's his name? Why am I blanking on his name?
Millennium.
Johnny Millennium. There we go. Yeah, who does great work with my buddy Victor Lucas. He's not my buddy, but I love that guy. But anyways, yeah, Johnny Millennium by far did a fantastic eulogy to Billy. So I'd recommend people go check that one out. But yeah, it was really sad. The guy he was a couple of years younger than me. He was 47. So yeah, that was really too bad. Brain cancer. And it's just a dumb people. I was just like I think Jay put out a video finally, and I watched that one. And the questions on there were like, do you know how Billy got it? How he got like what did he do to get brain cancer? I'm like, how ignorant are people? Like they think that you have to
It's-
do something in order to get brain cancer. You know, like sometimes it just happens. You know, you
well,
can do
that's the thing.
everything.
You're exposed to the general public. It's
Yeah, I wish.
uh,
I
the
was.
years of social media. It's just I this is one of the reasons why I try to stay away as much as possible. Just some
Yeah,
of the things you have to deal with on social media.
I
And
will
it's not
say
even
though.
things that are anything directed towards you personally. It's just
No.
you see what else is out there.
Yeah, and you're like, how ignorant
Hmm.
and dumb are people? Like it
Hmm.
just. Do you know how he got it? Do you know what he did to
Hmm.
that? Like. Anyways, I will say like the people that I had watched, a lot of them I have not seen. Like I just haven't been in the loop
Hmm.
for about 10 years. And I'll not no one directly on the game chasers, but a lot of the people on the fringe who did like the
Sure.
tribute videos and that I haven't seen in a long time. I gotta say it made me feel a little better about myself because a lot of the people got old. Old and fat. Oh my goodness.
Hmm.
People. I too many game conventions, I think. Because I was like looking at myself like when we first talked about a month ago or whatever. And I was looking at myself on the camera for the first time, and I'm like, my beard has gotten really gray. I am getting gray. But after seeing those guys, those nebbishes, I was like, hey, I'm actually not doing so bad. I'm doing okay. Yeah. Uh,
I just,
one more thing I'll talk about before we get into Dead Heat. Unless Richard has something to talk about, I don't know if he does.
I just dropped stuff all over the floor. So that's
That's
all I'm doing.
what stuff did you drop? Just random,
Just
random.
some note cards and
Okay,
things.
well you don't need those. Off the cuff. Um, the biggest thing for me, like we had a very busy summer and all that stuff, lots of stuff. But the biggest change for me lately. So I had a mole on my back that I had to get removed. And like Sarah's like, you better go get that removed. So I did. And while I was talking with my doctor, this was over the summer, she's like, any big changes? And I mentioned that I was gluten free. She's like, oh, okay. Well, if you're gluten free, um, and you're feeling good. I said, yeah, I'm feeling so much better. She's like, okay, well, I'm not going to ask you to go back on bread and all that stuff because she can't test for things like celiac or Crohn's disease or that. If you have an allergy to gluten and if you stay away from wheat, they can't do the test to see if you can. There are some other things that they can see, but they can't do like a full on test to give you like a diagnosis that you have Crohn's disease or whatever. I'm like, oh, okay. She's like, but you know what? I'm still gonna get you to come back in a month. We're gonna get you to do a blood test and all that, and I'm gonna check everything, and because there are some other things. I'm like, okay. So I go back a month later, just earlier this month or last month. We're in October now, so earlier last month I go back and talked a little bit about gluten. She's like, yeah, your iron levels are fine. So that if those were off, then maybe we would I might encourage you to do some tests, but it doesn't look like you have anything like that. But she says this blood pressure that I've been taking from you the last few times you come in, and it's been pretty high. She asked me if I take my blood pressure at home. I'm like, I've never done that. She's like, yeah, it's really high. So, and she's like, and the cholesterol is back up. I'm like, oh, damn it. Here we go again. So she recommended for the next 3 months until December that I go. I'm off salt. I'm off high fat, and I'm off sugar, and that I got myself a blood pressure monitor, and I start taking my blood pressure every day. And the big one, no caffeine. I
Ooh.
had to get off of caffeine, which I've been addicted to since my early 20s. So, yeah, I'm currently gluten free,
Hmm.
lactose free, because it turns out
Hmm.
lactose gives me troubles, sugar free, salt free, fat free, and caffeine free. I've been just a joy to be around. I have not been
What do you
inside
eat?
I have not been inside a restaurant for a month since this whole thing started.
Mhm.
I've been eating a lot of home cooked meals, a lot of
Right.
vegetables, a lot of fruit, a lot of salad, a lot of rice. Rice has become a huge
Mhm.
staple, and just like whole pieces of chicken, whole pieces of fish, and yeah, I've lost. I'm getting on 7 or 8 pounds. Um, so
It kind of sounds like you're on a Japanese diet.
yeah, and my blood pressure has gone down. So my blood pressure was in. So for normal, it's 120, or it should be below 120. Below 120
Mhm.
is normal. My blood pressure was up to 140, over 140, like 142, 143, or whatever.
Oh my
So
goodness.
so in the past month, I've gone down. Sometimes it slips up past 120. They say that happens in the morning when you wake up and you have the adrenaline's kind of waking you up in your body,
Mhm.
or your rhythm, your cardiac rhythm is pumping a little harder in the morning because you're waking up. So sometimes, but for the most part, like the last 2 3 weeks, like I've been taking it every day. She said to take it at random times too, like take it throughout random times in the day,
Hmm.
and after you do activities and all that stuff. Um, but yeah, for the past 10 days or so, like when I first started September 8th, I was 139 over 76, and then today today was a little high because I did it in the morning. I was 122 over 64, which is a little bit high. But yesterday I was 112 over 64. That was my
Mhm.
lowest. It was 116 over 71. Day before, 117 over 78, 117 over 72, 116 over 64. So it's been, yeah, it's been okay. So it's been working. But yeah, I'm totally off caffeine now. I went
Hmm.
I went from 3 cups a day down to 2 cups a day, down to a cup and a half a day, down to 1 cup a day, down to a half a cup a day, and now I'm nothing. And then I also switched all my tea is caffeine free. That's it. I don't drink it. I drink water and caffeine free tea. That's it.
Welcome to the new revamped retro Fandango, where we're getting blood pressure reports
Yeah.
and diet advice.
Well, I'm just saying, like maybe go get it get it checked out. Get it because it's the silent
Good for
killer,
you.
right?
That's the thing is if you most people it's the same situation, but usually I guess you hear it a little bit later or a little bit too late. Or
Yeah.
if you're just one of those stubborn people who's like, ah, forget it. I can't give up my Coca-Cola and stuff like that. You know, it's just chipping away at you. So
Yeah. Yeah. It catches up
I,
with you.
I a, a couple of years ago, I stopped soda years and years ago, but I would still drink tea and I would always drink caffeinated tea. And then I kind of switched to decaf. I'd have the occasional caffeine tea, but I think I've kind of given that up too. I'm back to mostly drinking water these days. I'll have the occasional, a ginger ale or something like that, but I found that I can get by without it. And I've never been a coffee drinker, so I don't have to worry about that.
Oh, I
But
love my coffee. I do have a
mm,
decaf coffee once in a while, but
mm,
for the most part, just been sticking to the tea. But yeah.
yeah, it is rough cutting a lot of those things out of your diet, though. Suddenly you're just like, I need to stay away from this, need to stay away from that. But you probably feel a difference, don't you, after you started cutting like sugar and things like that? It's like, hey, you feel different.
Well, my stomach is a lot smaller. It's that's
Oh, there you
shrunk.
go.
I used to have this crease at the bottom of my stomach. My stomach would if I looked at my profile, and there'd be like a 45-degree angle where my stomach would stick out and it would just like drop right down that 45-degree angle. But I've reduced it. I don't have it's back to 90 degrees. It's like it's
Mhm.
gone back. So So there's that. Like really, like I was doing okay, like before the pandemic, like 2018, 2019, I did lose a lot of weight. I did have that scare with the cholesterol and all that stuff, and I lost a lot of weight. And I was doing okay. Then that pandemic hit. Like what I relied on a lot was the diet and walking. I had my shift at work. I had an overlap shift, and I would take my break during that overlap, and I would go out for a walk, and I would walk for like an hour every day. Well, 5 days, 5 times a week, and then on the weekend, Sarah and I would go out, hiking and all that stuff. So, I was keeping the weight down. But then that pandemic hit, and that overlap shift went away, and I would just sit at work for 8 hours straight, and then you'd come home, and you're too afraid to go anywhere, and
Sure.
you just weren't. And you'd get tired, like working those shifts straight without any sort of break or anything like that. So you just kind of want to come home and not do too much. And we started getting more takeout meals and stuff, and yeah, catches up with you. Just catches up.
Yeah, little by little, it gets you. My wife has really been into walking these past couple of months, just getting out there, just for the health benefits of it. Nothing crazy or anything like that. Just
Yeah.
we got a park nearby, so just go do a couple laps. So I often go with her, and now the temperature is finally the summer heat and humidity has died off. So now it's getting kind of cool and comfortable, and it's a great time to go out and just walk around. So trying to do that a bit myself.
And so there was a couple of things like when I went for that blood test that Sarah reminded me to. We did have a kielbasa the night before.
Oh, yeah.
And the doctor was asking me like, well, what do you eat? And I'm like, well, normally we eat like okay stuff. We do get takeout like twice a week or something like that. Like not too much. She's like, she says you have like the cholesterol in your system is like I have guys that come in and they say they're on the road all the time, like truckers. They're on the road all the time. They don't have time to make meals, so they're constantly just buying, stuff from vending machines and whatnot. She's like, your cholesterol's like that. I'm like, holy crap. But then I forgot about the kielbasa, and then so we bought this kielbasa from a Mennonite farm, and
Okay.
yeah, because they make like no preservatives, all that stuff. There's no no gluten in any of that. And I totally forgot too that I normally don't buy this stuff, but they had Mennonite pepperettes there, and I'm like, oh man, I haven't had pepperettes, and you know what a pepperette is?
Well,
You're looking at
what's
me.
a pepperette?
Oh my goodness, maybe it's a Canadian thing. I don't know. It's like pepperoni that you put on a pizza,
Sure.
right? So they're like smaller versions of that. They're in like little tubes like that.
Hmm.
Maybe you call them not
Is
beef
it like a
jerky.
pepperoni stick?
I guess that's what you call it in this.
Maybe I've just never
We
heard
call
it
them
by that name.
we call them pepperettes because
I mean, I don't think to be honest, I don't think I've ever had a proper one. I mean, I would go the Slim Jim route, all those super processed
Slim
beef
Jim.
stick kind of
Yeah,
thing, but
yeah.
something like that.
Yeah. Well, anyways, I got these nice Mennonite ones, and they were so good. I would only have one, but I had one like every day, so that probably
Well,
didn't help.
it's
But still,
basically like those long, skinny ones. It's basically like you're just sticking that in your vein.
well, they weren't very long. They were smaller. They were they were Mennonite ones, and they were really good. But anyways, I forgot about that stuff, so that probably spiked my cholesterol as well. But she does have me on some medication again, some cholesterol blocking medication, and but getting off of caffeine has been a journey. It's been okay. This is my second day that I'm like fully off of it,
Mhm.
and I was having trouble sleeping too. Like I'd go to sleep, but I'd sleep for like 3 hours, and then I'm up in the middle of the night,
Mhm.
and I'd be up for like 2 hours, and then go back to bed. And sometimes I'd fall back asleep, and sometimes I wouldn't. And that day that I went to the doctor's office, I had not slept very much at all. And they say that could raise your blood pressure as well. But since
So you're
getting
just
off,
picking the worst times to go to the
I
doctor.
think so. I think that's part of what's happening. But I did you know, since going off the caffeine, the last couple of nights, the sleeps have been pretty nice. Like it's like I haven't slept that deeply in a while. And I do still get up, but I stay in bed and I just lie there. And it's one of those like you're dozing kind of thing. Like you look
Mhm.
at the clock and it says it's like, 4 a.m. And then you look at the clock again, you think like maybe 10 minutes have passed and it's actually been like an hour and 10 minutes. So I'm like, okay,
Sure.
this is working. This is good. So
Yeah. Well, I
anyway.
mean, it's the whole idea that you're supposed to sleep through the night is kind of a human invention in a way. It's a more recent custom. I think
Yeah,
our old animal ways is, you go to sleep for a couple hours, you get up, go sleep again.
it started with the Industrial Revolution,
Yeah, yeah,
right?
yeah.
Because they wanted you to stick to a schedule, right? So get your sleep within this 8 hours because you got to be up at this time and you're not leaving until this time. Whereas back in the day when we were in the hunting and gathering, and all the way up to the farm stuff, like you would go to sleep for a few hours. You'd get up in the middle of the night, you stoke the fire or whatever, you'd sit up for a little bit, and then you go back to sleep.
Hmm.
Um, but there is still, and that's fine, but there is still a certain amount of sleep that you need in one chunk, like to break it all up.
Sure.
So
Mhm.
this is my understanding. I'm not a doctor, okay, but this is my understanding is that like you need at least 5 hours in a row. And then if you get up, you got to go back to sleep within, you know, 30 to 40 minutes. You can't stay up for another couple of hours because then that's when you start like you'll function, you might be fine throughout the day and all that stuff, but that's where like your immune system will start to break down and you could, your cognitive functions will start to suffer and
Mhm.
whatnot. You might not feel it, you might just feel tired or whatever, but that stuff is happening to you. You're not at your A game. Hey, Sauce made it.
Uh-oh.
There he
Ryan's
is.
here.
There he is. Are you looking forward to the Brewers and Cubs tomorrow? Rocket Sauce. And tell us in plain words. No, don't give us a Simpsons reference. Try your best. Anyways, that's all I had to talk about. I mean, there's been so much going on. Like we bought a car and we went to Thunder Bay to visit our buddies Deacon Sue and all that. Like, there's been a lot going on, but there's only so much you can fit into one episode.
Sure.
You got anything you
Well,
want
now
to talk about?
well, now that we've got a live audience here, I can go ahead with the big news here because I know everybody's been waiting.
I
I've
have
got
been.
the updates to my Resident Evil movie collection.
Oh, good. Yes. If
So
you're just listening, you want to switch over to the YouTube channel so you can see the update.
make sure. I mean, if you really want the best experience
Right.
possible, because I've finally added a PSP UMD
Oh,
movie. I've got Resident Evil 2 here.
these are
I
Sauce's
went
favorite movies too. So he tuned in right at the right.
fantastic. I went international and I got a sealed DVD of a Malaysian copy of Resident
Wow.
Evil 4. Look at that.
Nice.
It's got it's got writing that I can't read at all. It's fantastic.
Nice.
And then this particular release, I think this was a limited time release prior to the sixth movie coming out because there's a little sticker here advertising the sixth film, and these are
Okay.
all sealed. So I've had number two, number three, and number five, which I had gotten previously. I finally was able to get a copy of number one.
Nice.
Uh, so I'm still missing four in that series, but everybody can calm down now. You got your
Wow.
little fix of the
Pe-
Resident Evil
People are
movies.
on the edge of their seats. I just recently rewatched 1 through 4, and
Did
I
you really?
and I
Why?
have I have 5 sitting there, and I'm like, I don't know if I'm going to continue on with this because I legitimately do like the first 2. I think the first one is good. The second one, I just love. It's the Toronto thing. It was shot in Toronto.
Okay.
It's got the Toronto City Hall. I love the fact that they're on the Bloor Street Bridge, and they're going into town. But I know they're going the wrong way. They're going into Scarborough. They're not going into Toronto. I just it's like that's when I first 2003 when that movie came out. That's when I first started working down there. So it's kind of like all nostalgia tied into it. Plus, I do find it's fun. It's a fun one.
It's dumb fun.
Yes,
That's
really,
what it is.
yeah.
Now, I'll say the first one kind of dumb fun for me. 2 is definitely more dumb.
Sauce is
Yeah,
fast and
Ryan.
shade.
Sorry, Ryan did have a good line. I'm sure
He
there's
said,
a
"I'm
ton
sure
of
there's a
sealed
ton."
copies of these movies out there, and you are correct. I very often find sealed copies. Leave me alone, Ryan. Let me have my fun. But yeah, 2 is kind of just more dumb, but kind
Yeah,
of fun. 3 is pretty boring,
yeah, it is.
although it
Yeah,
does have some better zombie effects. Some of
yeah,
the zombie makeup's pretty cool.
we're on the same
4
page.
is equally 4 is stupid. 4 is a little laugh out loud stupid. There's some I don't know the name of the Resident Evil guys, but the big guy with the axe
Mm-hmm.
is in that one.
They got away from the practical effects. They've gone all digital. Like it was I found 4 very inspired by the Matrix, and they just took all the bad stuff from the Matrix. They didn't take any of the good stuff.
Yeah. That one's pretty fun though, because that's the one where she shoots quarters out of her
Oh,
shotguns.
right. Yeah.
And then which really should have been the Vegas one if she's shooting coins. If they had done a little
Right.
pre-thought, that would
Well,
have made more
I
sense.
did like too how everything that they built up into, they just abandoned it for the third one. Like
That's every movie.
her
Every
entire
movie
group,
is like that.
her group is just gone. Where's the group? They're just
Have
gone.
you seen all of them?
I don't think I've seen the first 4, and then I just rewatched the first 4. I don't think I've watched 5. I know I haven't seen 6, and I haven't seen
Okay.
the one that's not Amelia Amelia
Jovovich.
Jovovich. That one was actually shot in my hometown here in Sudbury, so I'm
Okay,
anxious to
yeah.
see that one. But
I haven't seen that one because that doesn't count for me. If it's not the Alice character, it doesn't count for me. 5 is actually pretty fun. They do
okay,
some weird stuff. It's equally stupid, but 5 is pretty fun. And then 6 for me was like the worst one. It just and exactly what you're saying. All the build up to this, and then something
just gone.
different happens.
Something.
So 6 was like a big disappointment right from the beginning.
I'm sure Sauce enjoyed it though. He loves all the Resident Evil movies.
Oh,
Big into them.
you have to just sit down and watch them once in a while.
Okay.
I'm ready.
Are we ready to talk about Dead Heat? What year did this
I'm
movie come out?
always 1988.
1988. Dead Heat comes out, starring Treat Williams and Joe Piscopo.
Right here.
Got the copy right there. There's the physical.
Yes.
Oh, look at this. I could do this now. There, hold that up. Look at that.
There you go.
Wow.
Look at that beautiful cover.
It is a cool cover. It's very nice.
I was very happy when I found a copy of this because this is a movie that I discovered on YouTube, which I believe is still available on YouTube.
Oh, really?
Someone uploaded like a Blu-ray version of Dead Heat, and I don't think anyone who holds the rights has come looking for them because it's been up there for years and years and years.
That's
So if you haven't
funny.
seen the film, before you listen to this, go ahead onto YouTube and give it a watch. But
That's
I
so
first discovered it there.
I was just gonna say that's so funny because right now, a lot of big YouTube channels are getting hit with copyright strikes. Like a lot of guys
Yeah.
that I watch, like Davey 505 and Rick Beato and the Red Letter Media guys, they're all complaining. Yahtzee's on some new channel, I can't remember, Second Wind or something. They're all complaining about the algorithm and their videos not being shown and the copyright strikes. They're just random. Anyone can put in a copyright claim on stuff. So it's so funny that those big, but I think it's people chasing those big channels, right? Thinking that, oh,
It could be. It could be people just saying, "Oh, well, you're successful. I'm gonna mess with you just because."
meanwhile, a full-on movie that someone does own the rights to is just sitting there on YouTube,
Yeah, there's a lot of them.
there's no strike. Like that website is just so bizarre sometimes.
Yeah, and this is going back a while because I would do that for a while. Like before I had signed up for Netflix or anything, and I was buying movies, look for something to watch. I'd realize, hey, sometimes there's something on YouTube, so I would just full movie YouTube, do a search, and I discovered
Yeah,
a whole bunch of films that
yeah.
were just sitting there that are mostly, you know, they're not big movies. Most people don't care about them, so they're whatever, they sit up there. So I watched this a couple of times on YouTube before I decided I'm going to get a physical copy of this. It was a little hard to track down. Not a popular movie in this area, so I'd occasionally run across a DVD or something online, and they're usually kind of pricey. So when this popped up for a good price, I was like, yes, gotta have it. Gotta have my dead heat so I can officially watch Treat Williams and Joe Piscopo go through their adventure. Um,
Uh, so let's. I guess we should tell people what this movie's about in case they haven't seen it.
sure.
It's basically about this uh, company guy that works in a company or something. They figure out a way to reanimate dead flesh, bring the dead back
Mhm.
to life, but they keep the thing to themselves. They keep it a secret. It's a little muddy as to what the heck's going on because
I
there's
I'm very curious to hear your description of it because, like I said, I've seen this movie 8, 9, 10 times, and upon my most recent viewing, I still can't tell you who is officially in charge of any of this.
right.
Because there are a few characters, there are a few principal players here. There's the uh, Dante Pharmaceutical Company, where the machine is. There is the Vincent Price character, which I don't know if you were expecting him to show up in this film.
No,
But there's Vincent Price plays this guy called Loudermilk, who was a rich guy who recently died and now is resurrected by the machine. So part of my brain is like, okay, so I believe they say he bankrolled the project, but I don't know that it
I
was
see.
his decision or anything like that. How he bankrolled it, I don't know. Did he know about it in advance? Is it something that they brought him back to life and got his money? It's not clear. It's not overly stated. Then there's the McNabb character, Body Doc, who
That's
is
played by Darren McGavin
yes,
from
yes. A
Christmas
lot of
Story.
lot of good character actors in this
Yep.
movie. And he is kind of portrayed as the main villain, but I don't know if he was responsible for creating the machine, if it was his idea. Is he in league with the Dante Pharmaceutical Company because it's all medicine, they got connected? It's like you say, it's very blurry, it's very fuzzy.
I think he is like a project lead at the company, and he's abusing the machine for his
Hmm.
own purpose. Because that's the thing I couldn't understand for a little bit was that basically okay, so they discover how to reanimate dead flesh, and then when a dead person's reanimated, they're open to suggestion. They can go tell them to do anything, which isn't revealed until way later in the film.
Yes.
But basically, they reanimate like criminals, people who were shot by the
Mhm.
cops or whatever, and then when they're reanimated, they tell them, "Hey, go rob this bank." And
Yeah.
then the dead people go rob the bank and then bring the goods back to Darren McGavin, and he wears the diamond ring and buys a BMW and whatever the heck he's doing with the money.
And a nice toupee.
And nice, that's right. Maybe that toupee was expensive. Maybe. So I like that idea. I like that idea that hey, we can reanimate flesh, and instead of zombies, I mean they are brain dead zombies, but we can get them to go do stuff. So like when Joe Piscopo and Treat Williams, who are two cops, it's a bit of a buddy cop film, show up to the bank heist, and the bad guys are there, and they start shooting them. The bad guys, they're zombies. You could shoot them in the chest all you want; they're still going to move around and walk around and be fine. I think even one of Joe Piscopo's lines in the movie is like, "Hey, remember when we used to shoot people and they die?"
Yeah, remember when people died when we shoot them?
Shot them, yeah, or something like that. I put
That
that.
the way you phrase that is nice. It's one of his good lines.
Yes.
Because he, much as we love the Joe Piscopo, much as I love Joe Piscopo,
yes,
every single line of his stops the movie.
Thank
for the
you.
most part.
Okay, that is one of the notes I made here is that Joe Piscopo has done better. Now, I wasn't sure if it was a directing thing because sometimes I find that when you don't have a really good director who's giving the actors what they need, that like you'll see like, oh, this guy's like a really bad actor, and then you see him in another movie with a more competent director, and it's like, oh, he can act, or they can get a good performance out of him. It's just whatever. But in this movie, like Darren McGavin is on fire. He's fine. Vincent Price is like those guys are fine.
He's Vincent Price,
right.
That's
Even
it.
Treat Williams was okay. He was
he's
competent.
a fine actor. Well, yeah. I should say was, unfortunately.
Right.
I believe he did die in a motorcycle accident fairly recently, like a few years
2023.
Ago. Yeah.
But yeah, Joe Piscopo, he's got all the dad joke lines in the movie. Yeah. And they almost every single one of them fell flat for me. Almost every single one of them was just
there are a few more than a few times he is used to end a scene. They'll have some sort of discussion and then he does his little quirky, funny one-liner. Yeah. And that's how they end the scene. Yeah. And it's just every one of them is a groaner. It's just oh man.
Yeah, it could be funny, but it's just I don't know. It just none of it worked for me. It was pretty bad.
I looked up the basic IMDb trivia on this, and there's not a lot of information there. Unfortunately, like one of the things I was excited for with picking up the physical copy, as I was hoping for a little commentary, behind the scenes featurette. Right. Nothing. There's none of that. So there is a 4K release. I don't know if they done anything beyond upscaling the video, or if there's actually any behind the scenes stuff, because there's very little to find. But apparently there was another actor who they were considering for the Joe Piscopo character, but then Piscopo came around, was a bigger name, so they're like, okay, we go with you.
Yeah, I think a lot of people don't know that Joe Piscopo was like, even by 1988, he was I don't know if he was a rising star in the early 80s. He was on SNL. And the early 80s SNL, it was taken over. It wasn't Lorne Michaels, it was Dick Ebersol who took over the show. And the show was notoriously bad, notoriously stunk. But the two rising stars on the show in the early 80s were Joe Piscopo and Eddie Murphy. Mm-hmm. And it was it was close there for a while. Anybody's guess as to who was going to be the bigger star, because they were like, on the same plane for popularity. And then, Eddie Murphy did Beverly Hills Cop and Trading Places and a few other great films. And Joe Piscopo did Dead Heat.
Yeah.
And Johnny Dangerously, I think he was in that.
He was also in a Chuck Norris film called Sidekicks, where he
played right. Yeah.
The evil karate rival. I did a little checking on some of the principal players behind the movie. The director, Mark Goldblatt, was primarily an editor who has worked with a lot of high talent. He worked with James Cameron on the Terminator movies. He worked with Joe Dante, Paul Verhoeven. He was actually a second unit director on RoboCop.
Okay. Oh wow.
So he has some experience doing that, but primarily an editor. So he directed Dead Heat and the Dolph Lundgren Punisher movie from the
Wow.
late 80s. So
Okay.
as a director, that's not his strong suit.
Not his
Um,
forte.
no, but the surprising thing is that because of his background in editing, this movie is butchered. I'm sure he wasn't the editor on this project,
Hmm.
but he must have had some say. And I don't know, again, I don't know if that was a matter of edits in terms of story. Like, did they cut a few things out? Were the scenes directed in such a way that's like, okay, we have to cut it here, we have to do this? This movie is only 83 minutes. And at times it's really kind of let's go, just cut it down. So again, it could be his inexperience as a director, it could be studio interference, it could have been the script, the performance, I don't know. But it's a bit clunky all over the place. It's not
Yeah.
assembled very nicely.
I know that they
There are
would
some
cut movies down to size in order to get another viewing in the theater. Like
could be.
if yeah, like if you can get a movie under 90 minutes, you would get like an extra viewing in a day, right? And
Yeah.
that was just more revenue. So that might have been why. I don't know.
Yeah. If it was, unfortunately, it backfired because this film, I believe it got released in New York and California, and then everywhere else was straight to video.
Wow. Yeah.
So they didn't have a lot of faith in this, which is a shame because it is a very fun idea.
Hmm.
And there are moments that, like I said, I watch this movie as a comfort movie pretty often. Some of the stuff with Treat Williams as which, is the main thing in the movie, one of the cops, he dies and then is resurrected, and he's a zombie cop, going out to try to finish the case before he decomposes and turns to goo.
Right.
So a
So
lot of the stuff,
that was a confusing part of the story too, because he only had 12 hours to live after he was reanimated. Uh, and it was like, well, then how do they get like all these like? Do they just continuously grab, you know, criminals and reanimate them and convince them to? Because it wasn't explained yet that they were open to suggestion, so that was confusing.
yeah, it's a pretty sloppy script, which did you catch any of the connections on the scriptwriter?
I did not.
The screenwriter is named Terry Black, who is the older brother of Shane
Shane
Black.
Black.
Shane
Okay.
Black, very famous screenwriter director, who also had a cameo in the film. If you saw
Oh,
him,
I did not see
he,
him.
he was the bike cop at the end after the
Oh.
ambulance crash. And they're like,
Okay.
"Mister, you're not well," and he takes his gun. Shane
That was
Black was in
him.
there.
Okay.
Yeah, and this is just after Predator. So, he
Right.
was doing like little bits in movies and things like that.
Okay.
So, unfortunately there's not a whole lot written about Terry Black, so I don't know how much of a career he had, but I imagine he had a very similar um, sense of humor as his brother. So you can kind of see some of that goofiness in this. Um, so there's a lot of really fun stuff. Unfortunately, it's not fleshed out, no pun intended,
Yeah.
uh, the way it should be, because it says right off bat, like, you can shoot them, you can shoot them, you can shoot them. They never die. But then halfway through the film, a second pair of zombie thugs attack them at this woman's house. It's like the fight by the pool, and then they are able to kill those zombie thugs.
Yeah.
It's like, why?
Yeah. I
They
thought I
couldn't die
missed.
before.
I
Yeah.
actually rewound that part because I thought I'd missed something. Like that was the water in the pool electrified or something. Like I don't know. Like did
Yeah,
I
one
miss
guy
some?
gets electrified, the other guy gets impaled, and then
Yeah.
but Roger gets shot.
Right.
Roger Mortis gets
Right.
shot multiple times, and he's fine.
Yeah. So there was a lot of Uzis in the film. For some reason, everybody had Uzis. It didn't matter.
It was the 80s, man.
I guess so. You were the good guy, bad guys. I did like it at the beginning when those two bank robbers, they fire their Uzis. And it's like, okay, it's time to get the money, and they put the Uzis down their pants. I'm like, but I didn't know they were zombies at the time. It wasn't totally clear that they were zombies. So maybe that's why they could put those hot Uzis down their pants. Robert Picardo pops up for a half a second. I was surprised to find him, Bobby P.
Oh yeah.
I wonder. It's kind of weird because they do have. I guess was Bobby P. He was like their lieutenant.
He was the lieutenant,
and then there was the chief, and it was kind of like they were playing the same role. They just couldn't get the chief on location for that one scene, so they would just like, okay, Robert Picardo, you chew him out here at the scene, and then we'll get him into the cop shop, and then the chief will chew him out, and it'll be like the exact same scene. Like,
right?
You only had to do that once. You didn't have to do it twice.
That's exactly it. My note on that is they should have been the same character. Technically, I guess it does make more sense that a lieutenant would be on scene and the chief would be at the office, but
But we didn't need the scene with the chief.
Right.
Just have him do the I need I'm gonna give you one more chance kind of thing, and that would have been enough.
Really, you could say that the Robert Picardo character was completely useless as a character because he doesn't add much of anything. It's just, can I use your car? And that could have been anyone's car. It could have been a random cop car.
Yeah. But for some reason they thought they needed him on scene or something. I don't know.
It's always nice to see him pop up regardless.
Absolutely. And with that adorable mustache that he had, it was perfect.
Oh yeah. And nice car crash at the end of that scene. They plow into a dummy. Really well done. Looked nice.
Did you notice the building from Star Trek The Next Generation? One of the episodes of Star Trek The Next Generation?
No.
There's that botanical garden thing in LA. I can't remember the name of it, but that one episode where Wesley Crusher accidentally steps on some flowers, and that was like the zone on the planet that if you step in that zone, you're going to be executed because they have crazy rules.
Whether they were like playing frisbee or something, and he fell into it. Right.
They're like, "Oh my God, you're going to die, Wesley." He's like, "What? I'm fine." No, we got to kill you because you stepped on these flowers. Crazy episode. Crazy first season episode. Anyways, that building, there's that building. It shows up for a second in the movie. It's the exact same building. You see, it's they use it quite often when they need like some sort of different or futuristic building or whatever. It's just weird to see it pop up in this movie. I do have Joe Piscopo has done better. The guy only has 12 hours to live. Okay. Oh, and so the one really fun scene that I really enjoyed was when they go into the butcher shop to talk to the guy from Gremlins, the Asian guy from Gremlins.
What's his name? Oh gosh, I'm blanking on his name right now.
Anyways, that was a lot of good special effects in that scene. A lot of good.
Key Luke is his name.
Key Luke. Oh, right. And he was also in a bunch of episodes of MASH. Never played the same character. He would just show up like once a season as a different character. Like,
really?
Yeah. That big Asian guy, sumo wrestler guy with the guy.
Professor something. I know he's a professor.
Yeah, that was all good. Very well done. I do like the fact that they used a lot of. It was 1988, so it was all practical effects.
Yeah, I mean it was just the optical lightning, but everything else was puppets and animatronics.
Yeah. Well, there was one scene where it's revealed that we're going to get into spoilers here. Sorry, spoilers for Dead Heat, but one of the ladies is already dead. I guess she's like some sort of, I don't know how they're keeping her, like she doesn't look dead.
She doesn't Because everybody else come back, that they've got the autopsy scars, or the other
Right.
guys, they come in, they kind of look like zombies.
Right.
Their faces are decaying and stuff. But it's never really explained why she looks so much better, and she
Right.
doesn't seem to have a time limit, or
Well, they said that they could keep her alive as long as she helps them, and then as soon as she turned against them, that's when it's revealed that she's dead and her skin
she's
starts
not getting
sagging.
whatever
And
treatments or anything. Yeah.
so I was just gonna say that the special effects for that scene were a little over ambitious because there was like a lot of batting lines and stuff that. But I mean, it's pulled off as well as it could be for
It it
1988.
it was it works for me, because even there's one scene where her face like starts to
Yeah,
sag,
no, that part was
and
good. I'm
that
talking about
part's
like
great.
like
But you can see the fishing line. There's
mm,
like 5 or 6 lines attached to her face, and they stand out,
yeah.
really brightly in high definition, and it just pulls all that makeup. It looks fantastic. It's a great effect.
I wonder if that stuff was hidden though on film and it just shows up on HD. I don't know. I don't
I
know.
imagine, because I never noticed it when I watched it on YouTube. Obviously, I was watching it on like a smaller screen, and I don't know if it was. I think it was 1080p, but it could have been a standard definition.
Well, judging
I'm guessing
by
you wouldn't have noticed it on television and stuff.
and judging by the number of screenings it had in the theater, not many people saw it in the theater.
Yeah.
So, but I did like Treat Williams. What was that, like a piece of liver that he got stuck on his face that he's doing the whole like?
Yeah.
So
They're in the butcher shop, and for some reason there's one of those reanimation things installed right in the ceiling. Who knows? Who cares? And then all the ducks and chickens and pigs and everything is coming back to life. But for some reason, yeah, just this liver or slab of meat animates, and it rolls down a ramp and plops itself on Treat Williams' face to
yeah,
asphyxiate him, even though he's dead. But it's still, a physical obstruction on his face, and he's just comically, ripping at the thing like a Three Stooges gag.
it was very. It reminded me a lot of Sam Raimi, Evil Dead
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
kind of
absolutely.
vibe to that entire scene. That I wish there was more of that in the movie. And
Yeah,
then even like
it
the
has its
whole cow coming to life and coming like that, all that stuff was just that was good. That was good fun.
Yeah, the only bad part of those scenes are the Joe Piscopo one-liners. All
Yeah,
the now I'm a vegetarian.
yeah. Oh
Maybe we
man,
can use A1 sauce and all that
drown
stuff.
him in A1 sauce. What are we gonna do? Drown him in A1 sauce? Oh boy,
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah, I mean, some of those effects are great. Then you have the makeup of the big biker guy when they're in Dante, the first guy that comes off the machine,
yeah.
and he's got this kind of like, I guess it's supposed to be two faces
Two or
combined into
three.
one,
Yeah,
something like that. It doesn't make any sense, because are they intentionally trying to make him look ugly, or was that
I
just
don't
like, we
know.
need a creepy face on this guy so everyone knows he's a monster?
Yeah,
It just looked like there was stuff stuck to his face.
yeah. That
For
was
every
well.
for every good, there's a real bad.
Yes. For the good again, Vincent Price was great in the movie. Like that guy just never phoned in a performance. He was just like he's doing his Vincent Price thing, but he was nailing it.
That's who he was on camera. Whether
Yeah,
that was who he was in real life, I don't know, but he
yeah,
had that very distinct delivery, and he was up there. I mean, I guess he must have died not too long after this film was completed.
yeah. A little while after, but not too long. Yeah.
Unfortunately, I mean, I don't know if maybe it's the editing or whatever. It seems like he was never sharing the screen with Treat Williams or Joe Piscopo. He's there with a McNabb and all the old people. They're sitting around talking about, we're gonna keep you alive forever so you can be rich forever.
Yeah.
And then everything else is a cutaway. It's like
Yeah.
Treat Williams comes in and he's just standing there in the doorway. Don't do
Yes.
it.
Yeah. 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 Well, you only have a certain amount of time with a guy like Vincent Price. They probably only had him for
Sure.
a day, maybe two.
It says on the trivia facts 3 days they had it.
3 days. Okay, so there you go. And yeah, you just don't waste your time. So you just like shoot them like that. And
Yeah.
like even probably like sometimes when you see an actor in a scene with another actor, it's not actually him. It's a stand-in with like a wig on or something like that. But
Sure, shooting.
I didn't
over the
catch any of
shoulder or
that in this
something like
movie, but yeah, that was probably just time constraints, and they just got him to because a lot of his stuff was in video. A lot of his stuff was just like a side thing. Like he was definitely on that one set where he was talking to all the other rich people and doing all that stuff. But and I wonder
Yeah.
if that's part of the reason why they might have had two villains in this, because they needed Vincent Price, or they wanted Vincent Price, but he was kind of up there. So they got Darren McGavin to do kind of the more physical stuff.
Could be.
I don't know.
I don't know. I mean, there's the whole thing with them doesn't make any
You're
sense.
cutting out there. What
Oh,
happened?
am I back?
Yeah.
I've only got 12 hours before I turn into goo. Which even the 12 hours thing, halfway through his.
Oh, you keep cutting out.
Uh-oh.
Maybe unplug your mic and plug it back in.
My audio that's cutting out, or
Now I don't hear it.
hello, hello?
Nope.
Nope.
Nope. You're very quiet. Wouldn't be a Fandango without technical difficulties.
I don't know. It shows I'm on.
I could barely hear you. Nope.
How about now?
Nope. Oh, box is good on your end? Maybe it's me. Oh, you know what?
Uh-oh. Did you unplug your headphones?
No, the wire in my headphones is starting to go. I just bought these. Well, bought them when I
you're
moved
having
here.
that
Yeah.
your headset, huh? I hate when that happens.
Yeah. Okay.
You just got those?
Oh, well, I got them when I moved here, like in 2022. So
okay.
Treat Williams was still alive when I got these. What were you saying?
There was the other character, the coroner, Rebecca Smithers,
Right.
who it seems that they had a relationship in the past. It's not dwelled on too much. But she says, yeah, you got 12 hours, but then later on she's like, maybe you got an hour or two.
Advanced.
It's basically taking, it's basically taking place over one day, but the time is kind of
Yeah, because there was a period of time where like they're in daylight, then all of a sudden it's night, and it's like, well, there's a lot of time here. That guy got, pushed off to the side, but I don't know. Anyways, the script isn't the tightest script.
It's not the tightest script, and then the direction, the performance. I mean, I kind of get the feeling that Treat Williams, although he was doing pretty well in some scenes, there are some scenes where either he was really tired or he had enough, because especially at the end,
yes,
when it's the big showdown, he goes into the Dante Pharmaceuticals, and then there's like a big shootout and everything. He is going after McNabb. Well, I'm sorry. There's some of this beforehand where all the reaction shots are basically flat. There's a scene where he is dead, but then halfway through the film, his partner Doug Bigelow dies, Joe Piscopo, and he is comically upside down in a fish tank.
Right, sleeping with the fishes.
And they go in and like, oh, it's Doug, and his reaction is, oh, let's get him down.
It was nothing.
Flat.
Yeah.
And then later on, he's resurrected as an enemy because they've conditioned him to fight against him. And his reaction is, Doug, it's you. And there's just a lot of reactions like that. Every time somebody dies, someone who's close to him, there's just nothing. There's no emotion. And all the way up until the end where they're about to get McNabb, big spoiler, McNabb shoots himself. And then Treat Williams is like, "Oh, you robbed me!" And he shakes his fist in the air. I don't know if it was like he couldn't move the makeup or something, because by then he's very zombie-like, or if it was just he was tired from doing multiple takes, or he just didn't care anymore. But
It might
performance
have
just goes
been
really flat in some parts.
it might have been a choice. Like maybe like I'm dying, so like I'm becoming more like a zombie, so you lose your personality. I don't
Ah,
know. But
could
that's
could
yeah.
be.
It does come back though towards the end when the happy ending the happy ending happens. It's not the happy ending, but
Yeah,
the
because
ending.
there are
So yeah, I
there
don't
were
know.
times during the film where little things like he's combing his hair, and then the hair starts to
Yeah,
come out, and
yeah,
he's looking at himself in the mirror like, "Oh my god, I'm
yeah,
dead."
yeah.
If they had played that up a little bit more, cut down Joe Piscopo to maybe not even be there, but at least a much reduced role, and do a little bit more with him coming to terms with that, because then they're in the library reading the newspapers. He gets called like, "Oh, we're reading obituaries. I'm
hmm
dead." He gets all sad, and he does this weird run off to the end of the library.
Yeah, and then
Uh,
Joe Piscopo couldn't catch up with Joe Piscopo in this movie is like he's built, man. He is
oh, he's
stacked.
jacked.
He's
This was
jacked.
prime Piscopo.
Yeah, and so Treat Williams goes off and runs out of the room into another room. And Joe
Yeah,
Piscopo runs
like
after him,
a 10-second jaunt across.
and Joe Piscopo's out of breath, like he can't. Oh man, I had to catch up with you, man. I don't know if they were going for like because he's a zombie now that he can like super. He had super speed or something, and it just
No,
they
I
didn't
think it's
execute it.
just poor execution of their like, okay, we're gonna have this big chase scene.
Right.
We got two shots, or maybe it was cut down in editing.
Yeah.
But Treat Williams is barely jogging, and then
Jogging.
Joe
Yeah.
Piscopo is at like a full sprint.
Yeah. Yeah. And that whole scene, yeah, when he comes into the so it comes into the building for the big showdown. Yeah, that felt
Mhm.
very, very flat. He was shooting up. I think about this all the time in movies, even though you're not probably not supposed to, but I do. I can't help but to think of the security guards every time. Like,
Yeah,
you know, in a James Bond movie, you got a big villain and he wants to destroy the world and he's surrounded by henchmen who
henchmen,
are
right?
who are in on the plan.
Mhm.
They're participate. Okay, they're fair game. James Bond, you can go ahead and shoot them. They're only going to try to kill you, James Bond. So as Treat Williams is walking into this place, there's security everywhere, and it's guys like reading like porno magazines. They're just sitting there reading
Yeah,
like Penthouse, and they look up and see Treat Williams, and Treat Williams just pulls out his Uzi and just starts shooting them. And they're not zombies or anything. They're just like
I think they tried to get around that at the end, because there's one scene they cut away to these two cops, two security guards watching, and he's looking at live footage of this meeting, which should be a secret. And he's
right.
like, "How many old guys you think they got in there tonight?" Which suggests that they know about what's going on, so they're
Okay, maybe.
somewhat complicit to it.
Okay.
But yes, there's like an old guy just like he's sitting in the back reading a magazine. Treat Williams guns him down before he can
Yeah.
stand up. You know.
Yeah. Like I get like that one security guy at the towards the beginning of the movie that he was like the desk security guy, and he just like pulls out a
Guy
gun on
reading
Treat.
the dirty magazine and
Right,
just giving him nasty looks. Yeah.
right. He pulls out a gun before Treat Williams does. So I got that, um, but the one I did like when he was walking in and he meets up with that. So Treat Williams is a zombie at this point, and he's got an Uzi, and he meets up with a security guard who is a zombie
Mhm.
and also has an Uzi, and they're
Yeah.
shooting each other with these Uzis, and neither of them are going down, and they just keep plugging bullets into each other.
And they start shaking and
They're just shaking and shooting. That was really fun. That was a
that, yeah, I think that scene, particularly the very end, because he gets that zombie into the decompression chamber, and
right.
then he shoots at him. The door is closing. He pulls a grenade, flips off the pin, tosses it in, and then for no reason follows up with another burst of fire as
Yeah,
the
just like
door's
as the door's
closing.
closing, he just shoots some more bullets in there. It's like
Yeah. At
that.
that point, it seemed like he's having fun. Maybe that was just a little actor ad lib. Just I'm gonna
I
do this too.
Yeah, I just wish there was a little more of that in this movie.
Yeah.
It's just missing like that. I don't know, that Sam Raimi sense of humor, or
If
it's
it were consistently at a
yeah,
particular level,
yeah,
because they reach that level a couple of times, or those
yeah,
high points,
yeah,
and then other times it's a little bogged down. But even though it's a bit butchered, the short runtime does help it because it's like get to the next thing.
yeah. It's like those Twilight Zone episodes. They're only 30 minutes. You don't think about
Yeah.
the plot holes or anything because it's only 30 minutes. So yeah, it is a short film, so you are through it pretty quick. And yeah, overall, I
Yeah.
think it was like, I don't know if I'd watch it again. I don't know if I'd watch it as many times as you have. I definitely would check out clips on YouTube of the scenes that I like.
Oh yeah.
To sit there with like it was just like Joe Piscopo's jokes they were bombs, man. They were just bombing. It was just like,
They
oh my
were
god,
poorly written jokes, like they're not the funniest lines, and his delivery
delivery. Yeah,
is
like
very
there's a way to pull that off, like in the old Batman TV show or whatever. Those were bad jokes too, but there's a way to pull it off, and I think it was because the characters on like that old Batman show, like they believed in what they were saying. There was just something
right. Well, also
too.
Adam West was way more charismatic. There's a
Yeah,
certain type of actor who can do it, and then it's just the way it's shot, the pacing, the fact of if you're putting the camera right in his face or if it's a line that's delivered, in the background, all of that has an effect on it. And it just seems like this
yeah,
was the worst possible way to
like
deliver the lines.
old like Adam West, like he was delivering the line sincerely, even or like the Naked Gun or something like that, where they deliver the
Yeah.
lines in its sincere way. And I think if he would have done that instead of trying to be the funny joke guy, I gotta have a
Hmm.
funny line here. I gotta, and it's just like, uh, anyways, I'm glad I watched it. I didn't hate it. I did have fun with a lot of scenes in it. Um, and the female actresses, I gotta say, were not well executed in this movie
They weren't
either.
great actors. Yeah.
I mean,
Everyone was very flat. Even her, the coroner, when she comes in and finds out he's dead, her reaction is, "Oh no, Roger."
yeah, I know.
It's like,
Yeah, yeah. I don't know. I don't know if they didn't want it to be too sappy or something. I don't know what they were going
well,
for,
I
but
mean, they were clearly going for goofy fun. I mean, the guy's name is Roger Mortis, so they're
yeah,
they're going for stupid, cheap laughs here.
yeah.
But they
Uh,
could have had a little bit of emotion with some of the actors.
and Robert Picardo is good in it too. Like he's so I don't know. I don't know if it had to do all with the acting or what. I don't know, but anyways,
It seemed
something
like it was a cheap production, probably a
definitely.
lot of support, and then just inexperience of the director, shakiness of the scripts. It just came together the way it did.
Yeah, it wasn't the special effects though for what it is were impressive. Just for just a budget film. And at the time too, there weren't a lot of zombie films. It's very unusual for the late '80s to have something like that, unless I'm forgetting about something. I don't.
Well, I mean, by then, Day of the Dead had already been out, so you
Yeah,
had the
but
Romero stuff, but ah,
outside of that,
um,
like to try to do, like they're trying to go a little mainstream, with the actors and
mhm,
well, that's it, just the actors. So
yeah. I don't
and
know. For me, it's a fun, harmless comfort watch. It's not a great movie, but it does make you chuckle here and there.
so Joe Piscopo went from this right to Star Trek: The Next Generation to training Data how to be a
Right,
comic
right, right. Yeah, quite a few Star Trek things. You said the building. Robert
Yeah.
Picardo's in there.
Yep.
Piscopo was on an episode. He even does a Star Trek line when they're putting
Yes.
the VHS tape in.
Yes.
He does a
Yes.
very bad Sulu impression.
Yes. That was pretty bad.
And that's another one where it was just it could have been an ADR line in the back, but they
Yeah.
cut full
Centered
face
right
right
on
on
him.
Piscopo.
Yeah. But boom.
Such a funny line. They had to get him there. But yeah, I
All
agree.
right.
If they had done more stuff like the butcher shop and really played up the weird zombie effects of like he was underwater for like a bunch for a long time and just weird things like stuff he could do. They even give him like a funny outfit halfway through. He has to change his
Yes.
clothes and he's got
Yeah.
that like super 80s
Yeah.
Playboy kind of
Look like a reject from Miami Vice.
Yeah.
Okay, well that's it. I think we said everything. Unless you got
yeah,
something
I'm
else.
glad you didn't hate it. I'm glad
No.
you got some entertainment out of it.
Absolutely. I mean, I if I tried to watch it with Sarah, that would have been a disaster because I think she would.
Oh, she didn't watch it with you?
No.
She
I'm like, you know what? So what I was going to do, like I watched about 15 minutes and then made my decision on whether or not so sometimes I'll stop it. I'll stop it and
15
I'll say,
minutes. You watched like a quarter of the movie there.
I gave it 15 minutes. I'm like, yeah, you know what, Sarah won't be interested in this at all. It's not like it that's the other thing too. Like if it leaned more into like that completely ridiculous movie where you can get those absurd laughs out of it, like out of something like The Room or something like that, right?
Right.
It doesn't lean that heavily that way. I think they were going for more like a Sam Raimi Evil Dead vibe, and it caught it a couple of times, but okay. Anything else? We good on that?
I think that's it.
All right.
I'm good for Dead Heat.
All right. We should do another movie next month, but we haven't talked about which one we're doing yet. So this was the scary movie, I guess, for October.
Spooky Halloween kind of thing.
I don't know. It's what's November? Like that's American Thanksgiving.
I don't know. We don't necessarily have to theme everything to the most adjacent holiday.
No, but it gives you an idea of something to talk about. But anyways,
I don't know.
So we'll figure it out, and we'll post it on social media where everybody is. Everybody's on on Twitter now.
Check your Twitter feed.
To keep your eyes peeled for it. I mean, I did put this on. I put this on X. I put it on Facebook, and I put it on Blue Sky, and we still got we got Ryan. That's it.
Trifecta. We're okay.
Who is lobbying for producer title of Fandango?
You got it.
For fixing our audio issue. There you go, Ryan. There you go. You're gonna write yourself down as producer, and we'll cut you in. We'll actually cut you in on the profits, the Fandango profits. So
you want to go executive producer because then you can just put your name on it and not have to do anything.
Large, and you get a larger cut of the profits. So how do I divide 0 by 3? Turns out it's just 0. 0 divided by 3 is 0. It's 0. It's actually less than 0. So I think you owe us money now.
Hi.
Yeah, look at that.
About time we start getting some residuals from all this.
Okay, well, it's good to be back. It was a long hiatus, but it's a busy summer. It's crazy busy. All I could say.
What are you gonna do? It was the first time. I think it started as a necessary break, but then it became like a hey, we've been doing this for so long. We've never actually just taken a break, just because, So
we have
I did a little bit of that in there.
We have done hiatuses before, like taking a summer off.
Yeah,
and stuff,
but usually it was for some reason. It was like, I got this thing I got to do, or I got to go here, and this was just like, yeah, okay, we got stuff, but at the same time,
Yeah.
It's nice to have just a little break.
Yeah. And it was nice. It was. But it's nice to be back now too.
Yeah, I'm ready
Talking
for it.
movies. Talking movies. Always a good time.
I've
And
been watching so much stuff, and nobody's heard about it. It's sad.
I've been watching a lot of stuff too. I did finish the Twilight Zone that we did
Oh,
talk
okay.
about off air, but I guess I
You,
wasn't exactly finished yet, but I did
well, you were
finish it.
close to it. I just warned you about the lackluster final episode.
Yeah, I could definitely see why it was taken off the air, like why it was the final season, because the ideas were a little thin. You know, it's just like, oh, there was a
There,
couple. There was
couple
solid episodes.
couple of big ones in there.
Yeah,
And
solid
that's where you get
episodes.
the Gremlin episode. That's where you
That was
get the
earlier in the season. Yeah.
living doll episode.
I mean, that last season, 36 episodes. 36. Wow. Well, one of the final episodes was speaking of Sulu, was the George Takei
Oh
one.
yeah,
Yeah, where he's
that's a good one.
it was. Yeah, it was very good. All the Star Trek actors, except for James Doohan, who really just had a small part in one episode. The episode
Yeah.
itself was good, but he wasn't really
That was the
much.
best of the 1 hour episodes.
Yeah. The rest were like aces. Anytime a Star Trek actor popped in there, and I had no idea George had that in him. The acting he pulls off in that episode.
He does. He goes a little over the top for me
A little
sometimes when
bit.
he's doing like that and stuff like that. But you know, he
Yeah,
was giving
it's
it his
still
all.
it was some powerful scenes in there in that
Especially
episode.
when
So,
I mean, because most people know him as Sulu, where he's
yeah,
pretty subdued.
reserved.
You know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, I finished that, and then we watched a show called Queen's Gambit because I've been in the chess mode lately. So this show came out about 5 years ago. It was like the big show on Netflix when the pandemic hit. Everybody was watching the Queen's Gambit, and it's only 7 episodes. So it's like a mini series. I really enjoyed it though. It was good, and those guys, they knew their chess, man. The people who worked on that show. Like I'm just an amateur and stuff, but I saw what they were doing. They did some excellent jobs on there. So it's good. It's not all about chess. It's more of a coming of age story. It's about this young girl whose parents are half die and half abandon her, and she ends up in an orphanage. She gets adopted by a family who doesn't really the father doesn't really care for her. She develops a relationship with the mother, but she has this gift to play chess, and she's recognized by a lot of people high up in that. And it's sort of about playing chess, but it's more about this coming of age story. And it has that girl that was in the Furiosa movie, the sequel to Mad Max.
I haven't seen that yet.
Oh my
I've been
goodness!
meaning to watch that.
Get on it. Get on it.
I've heard it's good.
I enjoyed it. I mean,
been on my
it's not Fury Road, but it's good. It's definitely worth watching.
it's been on my to watch list. It's just anything that's over 2 hours automatically gets pushed back a little bit. So
This 2 hours flies, man. It flies. Just
I'll get to it. I've been
so.
watching other things. I did finally watch all of the British Office,
Oh,
which I
nice.
guess I did that towards the beginning of our break there. Fantastic. I'll just say I really loved the way it ended. I know they did the Christmas special after it officially ended, but I really liked the way that the series actually ended.
Well, that was their intent, was to end it like that.
Yeah,
And
that
there was a
apparently
fan
people were just saying, yeah, like, well, what happened with this, or
with
is this gonna
the big thing
happen?
was Tim and Don. What happened? What
Yes,
does
yeah.
Tim and Don get together? And Richie Gervais and Ricky Gervais and
Stephen
right,
Merchant.
Steve Merchant. Yeah, they were like they didn't think anybody cared. They were like, oh, I guess people
Yeah,
really
I
care
mean,
about this.
I
this.
I really love the end. I think that was a fantastic ending. I would put it up there as being like one of my favorite, television show endings. And then, granted, the Christmas special was satisfactory in its own way, but yeah, I could have taken it for just the end of the series.
Well, not everyone agreed with you because that's why they had to come back and do that 1 hour
Yeah, I
Christmas
agree.
special. And yeah, no, that was great.
I think years ago I probably would have had the same reactions. Like, where's the happy
Mm.
ending? But I'm old and cynical now. So
Yeah. Okay. I watched tons of movies and that too, but there's only so
I'd have to
much.
go back and make a list. Sure.
Yeah, we did good. We did good. This is a good comeback.
Yeah.
I could feel it. I could feel everybody listening and everybody watching right now. It's just
We
so
delivered the
thrilled.
goods on
Yeah,
Piscopo. We're
they're
fine.
just applauding right now. They're just like, yes.
Well, put a poll in the comments. What is the next Joe Piscopo film you want us to review?
Oh my goodness. Are there any
Did
more
he
Joe
do more than
Piscopo?
2 or 3?
I don't think so. I don't think so. Okay. Thanks for watching, everyone. Thanks, Ryan, for being in the comments, and thanks for helping us with the audio. And I'm rooting for the Brewers in the National League, the Jays in the American League. Let's make it happen. Let's do a Blue Jays Brewers World Series. I want to see it happen. That's it. That's all I got.
That's good. That's
All
fine.
right. Goodbye.
Bye.
I have to hit 2 buttons now.